Texas seizes control over land to stop the flow, the invasion that's taking place across their border. And the Department of Homeland Security from the Biden administration submitted a panicky memo to the Supreme Court filled with an affidavit from Border Patrol saying, we're there, we can't access anything. Please, Supreme Court, help us so that we can continue on with the invasion. Now, we're going to read what the filing says, but here is what the report sounded like over from the mainstream media, reporting on the situation, saying, this is pretty bad. Charlie Kirk snabbed this one, says, now under Governor Abbott's emergency declaration, the National Guard has seized control of the property. This guy is on scene reporting.
Developing yesterday, Bill, and it's a rather remarkable situation. Behind me right now is Shelby Park, the park that you were referring to. Our viewers may recognize it. Our cameras have been here for about 2 years now, showing you the mass illegal immigration that happens right here in this park. You might recall even just a few weeks ago, there was that huge surge of migrants who crossed right here. Well, now under Governor Abbott's emergency declaration, the Texas National Guard has seized control of this park and some surrounding land along the river, put up fencing and razor wire, and kicked out federal Border Patrol agents, arguing that it's the Biden administration that has perpetuated illegal crossings, so Texas is going to control this land from here on out. Our crews have seen what appears to be Texas National Guard blocking Border Patrol agents from key areas of the operation here, and senior Border Patrol agents confirmed to Fox News that BP has pulled resources to avoid a confrontation.
Wow.
Now, it's not quite clear if this unprecedented move by Texas is really going to help or harm illegal migration here, because it appears that ultimately when migrants arrive to this park, Texas National Guard is still going to have to turn them over for processing to Border Patrol, essentially adding an extra step. Another added layer, the mayor of Eagle Pass says he was completely caught off guard by this move. He does not agree with his park being taken over and is looking into his legal options.
Wild. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff happening.
This is not something that the city wanted, requested, asked for. He made it clear that this is the state and that they have the legal authority to do that. Of course, our legal team is looking into the actions taken by the state.
We will be here outside of the park over the next couple of days. We'll keep you updated on how the situation unfolds.
All right, good report from that gentleman. So you can see it is really heating up there. Like Texas is saying, get out of here, Border Patrol. You're done. We've got it taken care of. And somebody who's there regularly is Bill Malugin. And Bill Malugin was sharing this as he was reporting. He tells us the following. He says, new, the Texas Military Department confirms the Texas National Guard has seized control of Shelby Park and Eagle Pass, city property where mass illegal crossings are, is restricting Border Patrol agents from accessing the area, saying the feds, quote, perpetuate illegal crossings. So we're going to be here to turn them back. This is the area where Border Patrol has been cutting Texas razor wire. Razor wire and the fences are now deployed to block the area off from the public and the federal government. Get out of here. Attached is video from our crew on the ground this morning as they began blocking it off. You can expect the DOJ to sue Texas over this, and we already have an updated memo from Department of Homeland Security. Okay, they filed this puppy right away, and it includes an affidavit from somebody who's on the scene. So this is already at the Supreme Court. We're going to read it here in a short minute. But this is what Bill says. He says, this is the Texas military statement. He says, the Texas National Guard has maintained its presence with security points and temporary barrier in Shelby Park since 2021. The current posture is to prepare for future illegal immigrant surges and to restrict access to organizations like the useless federal government that perpetuates illegal immigrant crossings in the park and the greater Eagle Pass area. Bill says, I reached out to Border Patrol in this sector for comment an hour ago. No updates on this one. And this was from late last night. This is just what it sounds like. You can see this is the scene as they're driving around. No audio on this, but it looks like you can see what is being stood up there. Lots of lights. Look at that whole backdrop, right? Lots of lights, lots of floodlights, just kind of illuminating everything. And so another good report there from Texas. Now, if you scroll down here, Bill says the Border Patrol Union confirms to me that its agents are being blocked by Texas soldiers. The union is praising Abbott for seizing control. Wow. So the Border Patrol Union says, nice job, Abbott, even though our people can't get admitted there. The BP union statement says, this is the Border Patrol Union, the official union of the Border Patrol. Look at this. Funded and administered by Border Patrol agents. They say, Governor Abbott is not harming Border Patrol operations. He is enhancing them. His seizing control of the Shelby Park allows our agents to deploy to troubled spots that experience high numbers of gotaways. Governor Abbott's actions should be seen as a force multiplier. Even the union is like, all right, good. Now we can go do our job here. The city of Eagle Pass also confirms that its mayor was notified by Texas DPS that Texas was taking control of the park, saying Abbott issued an emergency declaration, and here we go. It says our mayor, Rolando Salinas, was notified by Texas DPS that the state of Texas was taking control of Shelby Park. The decision was made as part of an emergency declaration by Governor Abbott. The city of Eagle Pass played no role in the decision, and currently our city is looking into this matter. So their city attorneys, probably facing onslaught here. And here Greg Abbott responded. He said, as caravans of migrants are moving through Mexico towards the U.S., we are making clear that Texas will be a tough place to cross. Dang! All right, so things are getting spicy down there at the border. And obviously this is something that absolutely needs to be done. If the federal government is not going to deal with it, well, then the states have to do it. States are doing it. So amazing. Now, let's see what they submitted. In a panicky filing right after Texas seized control of the land in Eagle Pass, you see the Department of Homeland Security fired this one off into the Supreme Court. It's a supplemental memorandum about the emergency application to vacate the injunction. So we know that Texas has been battling with the feds over control of the border, and they're at the Supreme Court. And so now this is the U.S. government, Elizabeth Prelagar, counsel of record for the DOJ, submitting this on behalf of DHS because Texas is stopping the invasion and they want the invasion to resume. She filed this saying the government respectfully files this supplement to address new activities by Texas National Guard that we just saw. They're in control. And Texas DPS since the government filed our last motion. Now those activities have changed the situations, rendering our prior filings inaccurate. Now the developments here described come from this guy, Robert Danley. He submitted an affidavit that we'll read. He actually works as a Border Patrol agent, the chief patrol agent for the Border Patrol. They say on December 19th, the Court of Appeals entered an injunction that stops the Border Patrol from damaging Texas's wire. Okay, so Texas is currently winning right now. The government can't continue to cut their wire in the vicinity of Eagle Pass unless it's necessary to address a medical emergency. So they said, look, this says Border Patrol can go around the fence. So then once that upper level court, the Court of Appeals, said Texas can continue to put their wire up, the government filed an emergency application to vacate the injunction. In other words, don't tell our agents, our Border Patrol agents, to stop cutting the wire. We should be able to cut the wire. Texas filed its reply and a couple other filings happened. Then the government filed its reply on January 10th. But hours later, Border Patrol, the feds, they learned as soon as the government responded that Texas National Guard members had begun erecting new concertina wire barriers. Just started filing those up. They added along to others along approximately a 2.5 mile stretch of the border in this case. Texas also erected new fencing located further inland than the original wire. And now that fencing further restricts Border Patrol's ability to even reach the river. Now the relevant stretch includes the area of Shelby Park, new wires up, which contains a boat ramp from the Border Patrol from which the Border Patrol routinely launches the boats. So they took over the park. The park has a little down, a ramp into the river, the Rio Grande. Border Patrol was using that. Texas says not anymore. They fenced it all up. It also includes the staging area that Border Patrol has used to evaluate and to begin inspecting migrants that it apprehended along the border. So in other words, Border Patrol absconded with the park, right? It's a state park. They said, this is our new invasion staging area, and we're just gonna, that's our boat ramp now, and this is where we inspect the migrants and so on, aka the illegal aliens. And a map of relevant stretch is attached to the declaration. There's a full summary of this from the actual agent that we're gonna get to. That's good. But let's see what they say. They say Border Patrol agents in a vehicle that were towing a boat to launch the boat ramp, they requested access to the park. They said, can we please launch our boat here to go pick up migrants and illegals and bring them in? But the Texas National Guard refused to permit them access to the area. Go find your own ramp to continue your invasion, punks. Now, Border Patrol agents likewise requested access to the staging area, and the National Guard refused. Get the heck out of here. Now, prior to the evening of January 10th, Border Patrol agents, they were able to drive their trucks with their surveillance equipment to various locations. Those trucks were used to maintain visibility and awareness. Why? So you can wave them in? But the Texas National Guard has now blocked Border Patrol's access to the area, rendering its agents unable to place mobile surveillance trucks. For what? You don't need to look at it. You sit there and watch them coming across. What do you need to watch them for? Border Patrol's ability to view this portion of the border is now limited to a narrow sliver from a single surveillance camera located outside of the newly fenced area. Good. Pull their cameras too. Texas has to, take care. It's their border. Feds don't care. So as described in the attached declaration, the Border Patrol agent has informed this office that this new wire from Texas and this new fencing, it's blocking access points, and it's effectively prohibiting Border Patrol agents from accessing or even getting near the border for 2.5 miles. Wow. Now, in its response to the emergency application, Texas has repeatedly contended that Border Patrol agents can access the border via boat or road without cutting the wire. Go around. But since the evening of January 10th, this is not the case. The boat ramp that Texas has blocked off is the only safe and operationally practical boat ramp with access to the relevant portion of the river. Photographs that they picked below show this. And Border Patrol's normal access is also blocked because the National Guard is installing its own gates, and Texas is placing its own armed personnel to control entry. And the Texas National Guard has likewise blocked Border Patrol from using the access road through its pre-existing state border barrier by stationing military Humvees there. And they've got photographs of all this we're going to look at. So a photograph depicting this military Humvee blocking our road is down below. Now, because Border Patrol can no longer access or view this border, Texas has effectively prevented Border Patrol from monitoring the border to determine whether a migrant requires emergency aid, and that the Court of Appeals has accepted from this injunction. We can't help them come across faster. So they're all needing emergency aid now, I'm sure. Now, Texas noted in its opposition, it never opposed the emergency exception, but now Texas says you can't even see it. Good luck. The Court of Appeals recognized that you can cut the wire in a case of emergency, like if someone's drowning or suffering heat exhaustion, which is going to be everybody, right, under that standard. We're tired, cut the fence. So here it says, yet without any availability to even view the border or migrants who may be crossing the river, it's like they're with binoculars and like the airplane things. Come on in, migrants, come on in over here. We're Border Patrol. Come on in. We need to view it so we can wave them in, or to be near the wire, saying the exception is meaningless if we can't see. So Texas's new actions since the government filed this block the Border Patrol ability to monitor or patrol or surveil the border. You don't need to, because you don't do anything with it other than wave the invasion in. Now, those actions have changed, and so we're filing this. The court should vacate the injunction. Let us get back to cutting the wire. Let us get back to restore the Border Patrol's access to the border, because we're responsible for this issue. Signed by Elizabeth Prelogar to the Supreme Court. Now, let's see what this agent said. This is the declaration of Robert Danley. I, Robert Danley, am a Border Patrol person. I am currently the lead field coordinator for Border Patrol. I was selected as so-and-so. I started my career in 2000 back in Texas. I've got a lot of qualifications. I got a silver medal for leadership. Great. Now, in my capacity, I am the chief Border Patrol agent. These are my responsibilities. I'm aware that Texas has blocked Border Patrol's access for 2.5 miles and the stretch of the Rio Grande. Happened at 8 p.m. Central Time on January 10th. And Texas has continued to deny access through the time I'm submitting this. Now, I'm submitting photos and a map to show you what's happened. Shelby Park is an area of city property that runs along the United States and Mexico. Flat, easily accessible, has a boat ramp. Until Wednesday evening, we used that boat ramp. The area of Shelby Park near the commercial port of entry has also been used. We use it as a staging area. Migrants apprehended, whatever that means. You mean like relocated, welcomed in? The area is advantageous because it allows Border Patrol to triage apprehended migrants for medical and other needs, right? It's like a launch pad for them. So Texas just says, you're not doing this anymore. If you want to create your own little welcome party, caravan location, do it somewhere else. Now, at the same time, Border Patrol uses this area to complete mobile intake, biographic info, and other migrants apprehended so that they can be processed more directly. In mid-December, there were 6,000 migrants in this area, and they all just bust them inside. Now, beginning at 8 p.m., Border Patrol was denied access. And man, I would have loved to have seen that conversation. Hey, we're just going to come in here and pick up some more migrants. Sorry, sir, I can't let you through. Texas established fencing and concertina wire blocking access to Shelby Park. In combination, there is a combination of armed National Guard personnel and equipment. There's fencing, there's concertina wire blocking Border Patrol from 2.5 miles of the border. They say on January 11th, a DOD active duty military service member who was deployed to provide logistical support to Border Patrol, he was denied access to area underneath the port of entry. He wanted to refuel the Border Patrol's generators staged under the port of entry. They said, no, get out of here. In addition, on January 11th, Texas DPS turned over 11 migrants to the Border Patrol agents who were performing equipment security. A National Guard major walked up to the agents and Texas DPS personnel and informed them, they said, Texas National Guard would no longer allow anyone to include Texas DPS to drop off or turn over subjects at that location. Not happening anymore. The Texas TNG major further informed the Border Patrol agents that the National Guard would not allow any transport units to pick up subjects under the port of entry. You're not getting them there either. And that agents, you have to walk the migrants to Loop 480 and then process them outside of Shelby Park. They say a Loop 480 is a two-way industrial highway. There's no space to safely intake migrants. That's the point. That's the point. There is no welcome caravan party anymore, so they can go back. On January 11th, Border Patrol agents in a vehicle towing a boat, they said, can we come up your boat ramp in Shelby Park? They said, no, it's been blocked. Get out of here. Within 2.5 miles, there are multiple entry points, all blocked by the great state of Texas. TNG has deployed armed soldiers and vehicles to block Border Patrol agents from access to the river and entry points, which is sometimes referred to as the border wall. Now, when standing at the border barrier, agents are unable to see the river. Historically, we were able to access the river via gates. But in addition here, there's a bunch of photographs that we'll look at. Here's another one. I spoke with Texas DPS, says this guy. He advised me it is the position of the state of Texas that the National Guard, that it will not allow Border Patrol or DOD personnel who support Border Patrol into the 2.5-mile stretch near Shelby Park. Not in any operational capacity. You're banned. Telling the DOD that. No DOD nor Border Patrol. Get out of here. We've got armed people to say so. I was further advised that Texas does not want Border Patrol to be able to arrest, process, or transport migrants out of the identified area. They're done. So they say, here's the boat ramp. Okay, currently it's blocked. It's one of 3 within the Eagle Pass area. However, for practicality reasons, this is the one that we use. Now, north of there, there's the Gonzales boat ramp, but that's on private property and it's also difficult to access. There's also increased risks associated with water in this area. That's the point. Make the border difficult to cross and people won't cross it. Law enforcement personnel and migrants have drowned in that area, which is unfortunate. I don't want anybody to drown. But don't try to cross a river illegally into a country that's not yours. Approximately 6.9 miles south, there's another boat ramp, but that's private too. It's like, we don't have enough welcome boat ramps. They want more water depth and obstacles in the water. It's great, man. So like, this is a nice little welcome panel here in Shelby Park, and Texas says you're done. So if they go north, they don't have anything. If they go south, they don't have anything. So therefore, Texas's action of depriving Border Patrol means we have no practical means to respond to migrants who may be in distress. Maybe the Mexico side, maybe they can provide some help to their people or to the people who are crossing from their border. Maybe they can provide some aid. Now, because of Texas's actions, Border Patrol has substantially reduced visibility. Prior, we had 5 to 7 mobile video surveillance trucks. Now we don't have any. They have denied access to all of them. All told, I estimate that current operational visibility has been reduced by 90%. Oh man, this is just so good. They can't see anything. Good. Mobile video surveillance is important because it identifies where we need to put agents to bring people into the country. If a large group is spotted attempting, then we make strategic decisions about how to get them in. In mid-December, there were 6,000 migrants in the waiting area, and these other areas are very easy to manage. And without access to this staging area, we have to go along this busy road, a busy 2-lane highway that has commercial traffic, and it's very busy. Suboptimal conditions for managing any large group of migrants in such a small space. You know, it's very easy. Just send them back. Send them the other direction. You can't come through Eagle Pass anymore. It's dangerous up there. You might drown. It's dangerous over there. You might drown. Go figure it out somewhere else. You can see here are the exhibits. This is what the Border Patrol guy is saying is blocked. This is a lot. So Texas wasn't playing around. They just went all the way from this whole yellow line all the way up. All now seized. Feds, no more access for you. That's a lot. There's Eagle Pass, the international bridge, all the way up. And so if you go up north, it's bad. If you go down south here, it's bad. So better go this way. That's the only direction to go. Go back this way. Here's a safe location. Casa del Migrante. That sounds great. Post up over there. See if they can help with your situation. Here's Exhibit B. Here's what some other scenes look like. So Border Patrol agents are like, just gonna go bring in a few thousand more illegal aliens into our country, and let's just go drop our boat off right in here. And guess what? It's blocked. Get out of here. You see, there's a Humvee located back there, fencing up. Border Patrol not allowed. This is a photograph taken on January 10th that shows added gates, military Humvees, wire, and barriers that the Texas National Guard erected, blocking a gap that would otherwise allow access. Blocked. Here's another one. I'm just a useless. We have some good Border Patrol agents, but some of the other ones are useless because they're enabling this garbage. They're saying here, let's go in. Texas says, get out of here. Go complain to Mayorkas about this. Blocked. Photograph taken on January 10th. Here's another one. Some serious wire being posted up. This photograph shows several Texas National Guard personnel placing additional wire and mesh fencing near Border Patrol Port of Entry number 2. Here's another one. You know, these look like you could probably, knock them down pretty easily, but it's a good start. Here's another photograph. If we go blows with Mayorkas, here's another one, another gap, and another one. Same photo. Here's the same photo, just copied and pasted multiple times. Here's Exhibit C. Look at that on the wall. You're not driving your stuff through. Get out of here. Right there. Blocked. Aerial photograph blocking an access point in the state-owned border barrier along Loop 480. This access point would otherwise allow Border Patrol to reach the river. Not in Texas. Sorry. So this is just absolutely outstanding. I'd say it's absolutely needed. Texas has been bearing the brunt of a lot of this. They bust them out, they get blamed. And the problem is being exacerbated by our useless, incompetent federal government. And so Texas is now responding, and Joe Biden and the DHS, they want more of this to happen. They're more interested in this problem continuing than they are solving it. So Texas, with no alternative, takes matters into their own hands and boots them the heck out. We're going to be continuing to cover this and more malfeasance from our useless federal government. Thank you for subscribing and joining us as we do. Wherever you're watching this, thanks for hitting that subscribe button, that follow button. We'll be here every day at the same time covering this madness, and we appreciate you joining us as we do. Thanks for going over to robertgovea.com. Link is down in the description below. You can access all of the PDFs. So if you want to read this PDF, get the red lines, it's there at robertgovea.com, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.